What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Schilling N Stunna podcast. Today we will be hitting you with our upvotes and downvotes from week 3 and also our updated top 10 power rankings.
Yeah, man, let's get straight to it, man. So the first upvote this week, man, Miami Dolphins. I knew it was a tough matchup, and the first thing I wanted to see was how was they going to fare against better competition, man. Like I said, it wasn't the cleanest game, and I think that's the beauty of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't throwing all over the field, and surprisingly, I wanted to see if their defense would step up, and it showed that even when their offense ain't there, their defense can carry the load a little bit. And surprisingly, they did against a good team. So definitely Miami Dolphins for the first one. For the second one, Baltimore Ravens, right? I think the main thing for me for this game right here, this team, is a resilient team. But then how tough it is to go up there and win in Foxborough. You know what I mean? That can't be understated enough. It looked good. It doesn't all pretty as far as the defense. Lamar Jackson has to overcome a lot, but it's Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? He's having an MVP type season, man. Shout out to Baltimore Ravens. That's my second upvote. Third, the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? I got to give it to him. Right now, it's looking like a complete ball club over there. All three phases. The defense continues to look good. Should have been a damn shutout on Carson Wentz, to be honest. They made him look like nothing or nobody. We'll see how he fares again this week. But in general, man, Philadelphia looks good. The Dallas Cowboys. I just want to say, man, everybody count us out. Against all odds, man, the backup quarterback in there, the defense, everybody is showing up. Everybody is stepping to the plate. Everybody is playing for their quarterback. It looks like it's a good ball club in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Just wait for some reinforcements. But so far, so good, man. Shout out to them. And then lastly, man, I just want to give some respect to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Definitely a team right now. Didn't know how to feel about them after the first week. The second week, they look good. And then this week, man, a tough win. So, I'm sorry. I don't even say I'm about to say Carson Wentz, but freaking Trevor Lawrence looked like he's made that leap, man. They got the weapons. The defense looked better. Hey, and they came down and they put a beat down on the boys. So shout out to them boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that all 5?
Yeah, that's all 5.
Moving over to mine, I got Atlanta. Atlanta's just super feisty, like in general. I think they're way ahead of where anyone expected them to be.
Yeah.
And it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could squeak out a wild card. Super feisty, and right now they're 5th in the league in rushing yards, mostly due to CPAT. He's killing the game. Cleveland, that Thursday night game, they played the way they had to. Get behind those 2 running backs and go. They're definitely doing better than I expected. Green Bay had to play a really tough game against a really tough Tampa Bay team.
Yeah.
Very low scoring, but an impressive victory nonetheless. Dallas Cowboys, as you said, and then also Jacksonville. And I think it's worth noting for Jacksonville, they they're 8th in the league, like 8th lowest snaps played on defense, and it's not because they're getting exposed. It's they're shutting down drives. So anytime you got your defense out there less than your offense, like you're setting yourself up for success. Moving over to downvotes, what do you got on that side?
For the downvotes, man, just hop straight into it, man. I'll say the Washington Commanders, just to talk about what the Eagles was able to do on the flip side of it, just how bad the Commanders look, man. They got to do a better job of protecting Carson Wentz. It starts right there, and to be honest, it's going to end right there. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. It wasn't able to get anything going. Running game, passing, and the defense, you know what I mean, outside of a good defensive line, the back end doesn't look too promising right now. So that's my first downvote. I'll get straight into the next one, New Orleans Saints. The problem with them is I felt like on that was a very good football team, but they cannot continuously have to keep overcoming these turnovers week in and week out. You know what I mean? He had three interceptions, speaking of Jameis Winston last week against Tampa Bay. And then this week, I felt like going against a beatable Carolina Panthers team, a team I feel like it's not as good, to be honest. You come out there, they should have been this week. Jameis threw another 2 interceptions. Yeah, they rallied late, but it's a little too much to overcome, man. They're going to have to show some things up over there. Next, I'll say definitely the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it wasn't a good game in general. You know what I mean? The same can be said for both sides. But I just think with them, you know what I mean, they need to figure out a way to get back to their identity. They gotta stick to the run game, figure some things out. But right now, it isn't looking so good over there. The Raiders, I think we can all agree they looking terrible right now. I thought this was a team that was going to do major things, high expectations. But look, I don't know how many teams have came away from a 0-3 start, but I can tell you right away that list is not too long. You know what I mean? So
Right,
I
right.
think right away they're gonna have to figure some things out. And I mean now, when I say that, man, it's not good. It just looked like it's all out of sync over there, especially on the offensive end. And then lastly, the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, as well. First thing I'll say there is just terrible offensive line. Terrible.
Absolutely. Just to stay with the Raiders, I got them on a downvote as well. Although last week I didn't. Bro, what is going on with I'm out on the Raiders.
You out?
What all the way out, bro. F that.
Nah,
So
I'm with you. I'm with
I think Josh McDaniels is going to be very, very, very close to losing that locker room. You've got Devontae Adams coming out upset publicly, and he should be one of the leaders of your team. So when that starts happening, people are going to follow. The Denver Broncos as well, and I want to get into the importance of a head coach. So right now you have two very talented rosters with the Broncos and the Raiders, but I don't think the coaching is working. So I wouldn't be surprised if they move off of those guys after this season if they don't click here soon. Denver just looks stale. They look
you. Yeah.
stale. Chargers, I got them on a downvote. They lost. They got blown out by Jacksonville. But Brandon Staley as well, talking about coaches. How do you have Justin Herbert in that game the entire
Yeah.
time? It's 38-10. Pull your man out the game. That's crazy. You're not playing for week 3. You're playing for January. Yeah. So get your guy out of there, preserve him. They lose Slater, that's going to hurt big time.
Lost Bosa too. It's tough.
And
tough
Bosa, yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco as well. I expected San Francisco. Jimmy's going to show up. The spark is there. I even threw them in my top 10 last week. I kicked them out this week.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh as well. 5th worst in passing yards. They just cannot move the ball. Najee can't get going. It's a nightmare in Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's Pickett time, but I know it's not Trubisky
I know
time.
Pickett look, I'm going to keep this clipboard. Holler at me next year, right?
You know? Right, what?
I ain't, he ain't trying to get behind that. You know what I mean? It don't matter who behind that right now. Unless you got somebody that can run as fast as Lamar Jackson or somebody mobile, you was sitting duck over there in Pittsburgh. So it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Switching over to top 10, you want to go through your top 10?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick, man. Number 1, Miami Dolphins. Tough game, tough team, tough win. Love to see it. Knicks, Buffalo Bills. Now, I have them right here because I feel like week in and week out, I feel like this still to me is like best football team in the league or whatever. We'll see how that shakes out, but they right there. They dealt with a lot of injuries. They were still in that game. Still could have won it. Buffalo's my number 2 team. Number 3, Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? Want to move them higher? No Laurel. I kind of like them right in this top 3 so far. Good team so far. When more competition comes, we'll see. But right now, I feel good enough just putting them there, and I think they'll be there for a while. Green Bay Packers. Tough one. I love Tampa Bay. They was a tough team, but you know what I mean? It was a tough win. They was able to overcome that. Tampa Bay has a tough defense, you know what I mean, as well. But look, we talk about defenses. Green Bay has a tough defense themselves, man. And that'll give Aaron Rodgers some time to, you know what I mean, figure these games out, figure out the offense a little bit. But that's a good ball club over there in Green Bay. 5th on my list is the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously a tough win. I mean, I'm sorry, not a tough win, a tough loss, obviously, you know what I mean. They was right where they needed to be. Styles make matchups. It wasn't that game. I think they'll rebound. I think they'll continue to be one of the better teams in this league. I was comfortable sticking them right there, keep them at 5. Los Angeles Rams. Now, with them, it all isn't pretty right now. But one thing I can say is it doesn't have to be in this league. They're winning. And I think once it all starts to click, they'll be right here. And I think they'll continue to be one of the top teams in this league. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7. Now, injuries. You know what I mean? But on the backside of that, they got a top-notch defense, one that I think is the best in the league right now that they get to lean on. So when they get their reinforcements back, they'll be a team to be reckoned with. Number 8, all I'll say is the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I mean? Like I said, the defense is not showing up right now. Maybe not even a run game outside of Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's the hardest soul of that team. MVP season loading. That's my guy. Number 9, the Minnesota Vikings, right? Now, they had a bad loss last week. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins, prime time, whatever. Bad loss. But on the flip side of that, this is a 2-1 ball club. 2 great wins on the year as well. Can't knock that. I feel comfortable leaving them right there. And then number 10, man, the Jaguars, right? It might be a surprise to some.
Ooh.
I felt like they look great. It's a lot of teams. It's like you feel like, hey, should Cincinnati be above these guys? Should the 49ers should be, or you can name a dozen teams, but I can give you a dozen reasons why the Jacksonville Jaguars should be here. I'm hoping they're here to stay. I think it's fun for the league, man. They look good, man. I hope they continue their league. It's my time.
Whole lot of teams in Florida balling out.
Yes, sir.
Moving up 3 spots to number 1, I got the tailgating Miami Dolphins. I do want to point out, I don't know if anybody around the league has really noticed, Javon Holland is quietly balling out, the safety over in Miami. We talked about him last year coming into the draft. I liked him a lot.
I like Holland.
Quietly, he's doing his thing. Down 1 spot, I got Buffalo. Up 3 spots, I got Philadelphia. So our top 3 do align.
Okay.
Up a spot, I got Baltimore at number 4. I moved them up 1 spot from last week. Anytime you can post up 5 TDs on Uncle Bill Belichick, like, I got to move you up a little. So,
yeah.
Green Bay at 5. I do see Green Bay moving up. I did move them up 2 spots this week. I think they're close to Rodgers syncing up with his guys, and as soon as that happens, I think they take off, and they'll be really hard to stop. Kansas City falls 4 spots. Tampa Bay falls 4 spots. That's 6 and 7. The Rams stay at 8, in my opinion. They're not really impressing me, but they're good, so I just kind of kept them where they are. Number 9, I did move Dallas there. It's kind of biased, but not really. We're 2-1 with 2 wins with our backup quarterback. Our defense is phenomenal, and I do think that with the return of a Dak Prescott, we'll be entrenched in that top 10. I'm just really impressed with the defense in general. We're not giving up big points.
Yeah, I'm not mad
Minnesota at 10, and I was really trying to decide where to put Dallas and Minnesota, but then I remember Cooper Rush beat Minnesota last year on Halloween, so I had to knock them down. So that was biased as well.
That's fair.
But Minnesota at 10, they're just too good on their roster not to just win games. Like, they got to keep, they're going to win games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that rounds out my top 10. I like your top 10 better. That Jacksonville pick was a huge surprise. I like that a lot, actually.
I love Jacksonville, man. I want to see what they do against Philly this week, man. We all talk about clarity. Hey, we'll get some this week. It's not a top. It's a top game. Who does Kansas City play this week? The Bucks? Yeah, I think it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. So listen, we got a couple games this week that it should give us some clarity about a few of these teams, man. I'm excited. Hey, look, shout out to Duval, man. Hey, them boys stepping up to the plate.
They are, man. That's phenomenal. I'm trying to just verify real quick. Yeah, Kansas City at Tampa Bay.
Big game.
But we do have bad weather in Florida at the moment, so hopefully that doesn't throw off too much this weekend.
That's true.
I hope they don't have to reschedule too much. It should be out of the way by the time kickoff comes around, but you never know what damage lurks after the fact. But this is the Schilling N Stunna podcast. You got any final words?
Yeah, man. Just continue to hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. We appreciate all y'all support, all the engagement, man. And listen, man, it's exciting, man. A lot of fantasy news dropping, a lot of streamers, a lot of duds, top teams. Man, if you're a Cowboys fan, man, stay tuned in, man. We'll continue to, touch around the league, man. It's been great so far, man. Appreciate y'all.